So in this video, I'm going to be going through start to finish about how I coached one of my friends from university on getting an internship, his first internship, without any prior experience, without any connections, and go through it from start to finish, raw, unfiltered, not going to be cutting anything out, going to be showing all the highs and the lows and everything in between. And I'm doing this because I think there's a lot to learn from here. Very rarely do we see the whole story about how people get the jobs that they have. And even for me and I work at Warner Brothers. I guess probably Netflix now, but um, yeah, we don't really see about the whole story from end to end, and I think there's a lot of things to learn here as well. A lot of good things to call out for anybody who is looking for a job. I mean, there's a lot of people nowadays because the CS market is really bad. There's a ton of videos popping up around YouTube about people talking about how they haven't been able to find a job for a long time. So I think this story and his story and the part I played in it can help a lot of people, which is the whole reason why I'm making this video. So let's get into it. So we start off on October 10th, which is when he kind of messaged me saying he was graduating, and he just won a hackathon yesterday. And I asked him, I thought he was going to go in for internships because we talked about that before, right? And he said, yeah, he was thinking about it, but he got too much imposter syndrome. He didn't even apply. That's the first thing right there, really big point. Imposter syndrome, everybody struggles with it. Very common in tech. I've struggled with it a ton, but it's not really, I mean, we don't really talk about how much it limits us from even applying, right? Because nowadays, the job postings you see are like, they require like 5 years of experience for like entry level jobs. And even for internships, you're not even expected to have much experience yet. Even the bar's getting raised for them too. So yeah, he talks about how he had imposter syndrome. Um, yeah, which I'm happy he mentioned it because it's real. So a little bit later on, he messages me his resume, and he had a realization that he can get a 12-month internship, and he's gonna go for it, which is good. And I feel like this realization wouldn't have happened if we didn't have that prior conversation about him. Um, why I asked why he didn't go for any internships, right? And he said he had imposter syndrome. So this is great because you kind of see how, like, even though in the past, right, a little bit before he had imposter syndrome, he's not letting that stop him. He's still going to go for the 12-month internship. So awesome, because it would have been hard for him to get a job if he graduated, but he's not letting that stop him, which is really good, really cool. So a little bit later on, he asked for some advice about another job. This was actually a game dev role, he says, which is really not what he wants. He wants something that's more hardware because he did computer engineering. But here's my advice. I said you should try and take it. Take it and try to get it. Don't be picky. Big thing here, right? When you have no experience, you have no leverage. Take it and do the best you can. You will learn skills regardless, and you can pivot into what you want when you have experience. From my experience, I had an IT job. I didn't do any development, but I got 2 years on my resume, right? And I was able to land this amazing opportunity working at Warner Brothers, which wouldn't have happened if I didn't take the IT job. Don't be picky on the jobs because when you have no dev experience and you have no leverage, like you're just hurting yourself. You're hurting your career. Take whatever you can get and pivot into it. And that's my advice. That's what I did. Anything tech related, anything, you know, computer science in the realm, just do it. Whatever you can. It's gonna be annoying. It's gonna suck. But I say down here, work experience is everything. That's really all that matters in the real world, and all that companies look at. So take anything you can get, especially when you have none. This was game dev. He didn't want to do it. So same thing if you're like a back-end developer. Just take a front-end developer role or whatever, full stack. Just take one of them and then try to pivot into what you want. I've seen not a lot of people, but some people try to self-select themselves. You're only hurting yourself if you do that. Don't be picky. Just take what you can get, and then later on you can pivot to what you want. So over a month later, he got a coffee chat with a senior recruiter at a company, which I censored, and he's because he went to a job fair for a co-op in the summer, and he got an email back, and he says she reached out to him. He never reached out. So this is awesome because again, these job fairs and this kind of stuff, you want to take advantage of these because you only really get these as a student. These networking events and these job fairs and even like your profs, everything. Like use all this stuff that's available to you. You see, he used it. He went there. and he was able to get a coffee chat with the recruiter. And you just never know where it will go. You got to take out every opportunity you can and put yourself out there. So this is really good from him. This was awesome. And a lot of these job fairs, people say, yeah, you just end up applying online anyways, which is true. But really, it's the only, I mean, it's the best opportunity you're going to get to put yourself in front of a person and sell yourself. So regardless, he got this coffee chat at a big company with a recruiter because he went for the job fair in the summer, which was great. Cool. I'm not going to read through everything here, but he pretty much says it went decent, not amazing. It was average. And he talks a bit about how it went. I mean, that's how it goes. You gotta just go through the process. Sometimes you'll have good coffee chats. Sometimes it will be whatever. Same thing with interviews, right? It's just all part of the process. So a couple days later, we're in December now, so it's about like 2 months out. He says he forgot to send a thank you email, and he was thinking if he should send her an email saying thank you, but at the same time also ask her what sort of technical skills they're looking for. Assuming she responds with what skills, making a small project with those skills. Now, this is a lot to unpack here. I love where his mind's at. This is the type of mindset you need if you want to succeed. He's a student, he's coming in with some hackathon experience, but no formal work experience. And he only had one coffee chat with this recruiter, right? And he's going to send a thank you email, which I'm a huge fan of. I talk about it right here. Definitely send a thank you email. He's really going the extra length here, right? He's taking the extra step. This is stuff that a lot of people wouldn't do, especially students. Like you gotta just put yourself out there and really do things other people won't do if you want success. That's really what it's about, in my opinion. Um, Especially when you don't have much to go off of. This is like his first coffee chat, right? He's really early on in the process. Like, yeah, like this is really, really good thinking. Even if he doesn't end up doing this stuff or whatever, it's still good thinking that he's thinking about making projects and showcasing his skills and putting himself out there. I don't see this type of thinking in recent like new grads, let alone students. So I love that he was thinking this way and that he was thinking outside the box and trying to do things that other people wouldn't do to give him that leg up and differentiate him from the competition because you're competing against a ton of people. So anything you do that's out of the ordinary or different is always going to, in my opinion, always going to pay off. Hard work is always going to pay off. So this is awesome. I love this sort of thinking. Cool. So later on, he's thinking of holding off his graduation because right now he hasn't graduated. He's still in school to try to get an internship. And I say it's to play. And a lot of the reason why I said it's to play is because I genuinely believe that he could do it. And you know, as anxious as he was, it's going to be hard. As he mentioned in the start, it's going to be hard for him if he graduates with pretty much no experience. Yeah. So he only really had one course left, but I said you'll do yourself no favor graduating with no experience, which is true. As as anxiety inducing as it is, he says he needs to lock in, get that internship. I am in full agreement here. I I'm fully agreeing that he can do it. He had an awesome resume. His resume was full of great hackathon projects that he won. So, and they were really good big hackathons. So, with all that context, I fully believed in him. I wasn't trying to lead him down the wrong path or just like messing with him or anything. I truly believed he could do it. It was kind of a risk because when you delay your graduation, it's never an easy thing to do because like you work so hard for a degree, you do a ton of courses, but I fully believed that he could do it, which is why I gave him the advice to um, delay his graduation and try to go for an internship. And I helped him along the way fully. So a little bit later on, he spam emailed. It was cold emailing. That's what he meant. And he ended up getting another job at another company. Like, or not a job, but he ended up getting a coffee chat with another recruiter at another company. And yeah, so he already did one before. So I'd give him like, it's just show interest, sell yourself. Pretty generic advice. But here I say tell a joke. And the reason I said this might sound stupid, it might sound funny, but I was kind of being genuine. I was being pretty genuine in this. Is that in these coffee chats and interviews, the biggest thing is that recruiters and people who are interviewing, what they're looking for is that those soft skills. The fact that could you connect with them as a human to human person? Really, that's what they're looking for. Obviously, they're looking for technical skills too. They want to make sure you can do the job. But doing the job is a lot more than just being able to code stuff. And a lot of CS students, they lack in the social department a lot. So that's why I told them to tell a joke, because if you can tell a joke and you do it naturally, not like you prepare one beforehand, you can fit one in the conversation, you will crack the ice and you will just connect with them on a, on a different type of level. And that will set you apart from other people. Those soft skills, those small things you do, whether they feel comfortable with you, whether they know that you have good communication skills, you're a leader, these type of things matter. That's a lot of these recruiters look for that. So that's why I said tell a joke. It was more just general guidance of like, be personable, but you got to do it naturally. Don't force anything. Don't force who you are because it's going to be obvious. Everybody can tell. But yeah, so I'm a big proponent of telling jokes or just letting your personality shine in anything, right? That stuff gets you way further than people think. So he says this one goes really well, but this guy, he said he used to be part of the recruiting team, so he couldn't really get him a job. But I mean, look, I said it was a W regardless, right? It's all part of the process. And then we get to the thank you email. Always a good thing to do. You see, I will always, always, always stress that you should send a thank you email. It's good, sets yourself up. I don't think everybody sends one. As much as people talk about them, I still don't think everybody sends one. People get lazy or they forget. And you see from the thank you emails, we get a little bit ahead. He gets a response saying, two internship roles opened up from the recruiter he just had a coffee chat with, right? And there's their internal listing, so they haven't gone online yet. Awesome. And then he sent him his resume. And then I see here, always thank you emails. Telling you, there's a method to my madness. You always got to send these. He said, you're actually selling the money with the whole thing. Because if he never sent the thank you email, who knows if he would have gotten this response. So this is awesome. He got kind of an in. And that all came back to the good coffee chat, being personable, doing really good there, sending that thank you email and getting a response back. So you see how it all connects here. So a little bit later on, this actually got, it led to an interview. There was an email thread about him showing that Wednesday 4:30. He's grinding a lot. One thing we're not seeing in these messages is that the behind the scenes work he's doing. And trust me, I didn't include all the messages, but he was doing a lot of grinding on leak code, on different technical topics for each of these interviews. And he's talking to the hiring manager today at another company, a different one than the other one. And yeah, that's a senior recruiter. So some things in the pipeline here. And a lot of this just comes from coffee chats, right? Coffee chats and applying and just putting himself out there. So, and this is what he's gunning for. He has he's a lot on the line. He's delaying his graduation, but you can see he's doing a great job. But he gets back to me saying, yeah, um, he messed up. The interview didn't go well. Um, He's saying he's cooked because he messed up a basic question, which was something about printing triangles, right, in C. Um, and this happens. This happens. He's met with his first trial, his first hardship, and all of this, and his first mistake. And this is just reality. This is how it goes. He's been through, like, right now it's February. He started in October, and so it's been like 5 months. And yeah, look, you do it, and he finally got the interview. It took him this long, but then he ends up screwing it up, which is just normal. It just happens. Just got to keep pushing. But it's not all the end there. It's not all bad. He got a phone screening with another company, different company this time. So it's like three different companies kind of here for a pretty similar role, which is great. I say that's great. That's awesome. So he didn't give up, even though he failed, and he was a little bit down for a bit. You know, just keeps going for the phone screenings and everything. So it's good to hear. So after that interview, and he said his interview up here, but I thought it was a phone screening. He said, yeah, it was an actual interview. It looks like they lied. They said it would be a phone screening, but it lasted for almost an hour. But they asked a bunch of technical questions, including coding. But luckily, he was preparing for technical anyways. So see, that's great. He's doing a lot of stuff in the background that it's not shown in these messages. And yeah, you never know how these interviews are gonna go, or these phone screenings, or what. Like you have no clue what they're gonna ask. And look, he had to do some coding, so. And he didn't get everything right, which is 100% fine. But he was actually able to do it after asking for a little bit of help, right? So this is good to hear regardless. It sounds like a positive experience. And you see this opportunity came right after he messed up the other one. So again, you just got to keep pushing through all the mistakes. And like a month later now in March, you see he's tells me he's stressing out. Um, Those two interviews he did, he got rejected from. So like the phone screening one, he got rejected, and the one before that. So pretty much he's at ground zero. He doesn't have anything to go off of. And he got ghosted as well. I mean, I think everybody can relate to that. And he said he's starting to get depressed, that kind of thing. Completely normal, completely real. Or I even say, welcome to the real world. This is how it is. This is reality. People are stressing out about whether they're going to get a job, and you get rejected, and then you get ghosted, and you're putting in a lot of work, right? You can clearly see he's putting in a ton of work and effort, and he's getting attached to his interviews. Yeah, this is just how it goes, right? And then if you pair this with imposter syndrome, delaying his graduation, yeah, he was definitely at a low point here. So I tried to help him the best I could. I didn't show all the messages, but yeah, this is how it goes, right? After rejection, you're gonna feel like crap, right? It takes a hit on your mental health, which is why you really gotta take it easy. You gotta take it slow and just do the best you can, right? As cliche as it sounds. So about 8 days later, though, still in March, he had another interview at a different company, not the ones that were before. Um, so yeah, I'm like, yeah, he's still getting interviews from this company. Yeah, and he said he got added last second. They were wrapping up their summer hire decisions, and he got the notice on Tuesday and pushed it till Friday so he could prepare. So you see, like even after all the heartbreak and all the feeling depressed and sad, good things happen. Good things still came up. And even though it was a good thing, no offer. It's been exactly a week, no response. Yeah, that's how it goes. I mean, then he asked if he should call up the manager, right, and ask if he got rejected. I just said, do what you feel is right. I think it's good if he did this. But the reason I said this is because I feel like as a candidate, as a job seeker, you should um, take charge and ownership of your story, right? I feel like you have a part to play. So I didn't want to like tell him, don't do this, do this. I just wanted him to like listen to his inner guidance and do what he wanted to do, right? Which is how you should, I feel like that's how you should approach it. So yeah, I mean, look, he got another interview, no response, so still uncertain. And if we fast forward to July now from March, he's still doing interviews at this point, right? He's getting interviews for roles he's not qualified for, that kind of thing. And see, this is taking months. I'm skipping a lot here, but yeah, and he did another interview at the same company as before. And yeah, you see, but he's getting a lot of experience. You see, his mood has changed. He's not feeling as depressed as he was. And with more experience, you become more confident in your skills and your ability to land interviews. It really is just those kind of, initial kind of phase where you're not getting much and you're not seeing much, where it's easy to get demotivated. But yeah, at this point, we're in July now. He's getting a bunch of interviews, but still no offer. So still a little bit to go. And as we can see, that one company that he kept interviewing for, he got the offer. This is a big company, by the way. I'm not gonna leak it, but really great company. And even though he got the offer, he has another interview tomorrow, and this is like the end of July. I was really happy. I said, "Let's go." It all paid off. Awesome, well deserved. Congrats. I was super happy. This took him a lot of months of straight grinding, lots of interviews, lots of coffee chats. And even though he got this one, he had another interview tomorrow. He ended up getting the other one as well. So he had two offers, and he ended up rejecting actually the first one. The one company where he interviewed a ton, he ended up rejecting it, and he ended up going for the other one. These two were really big companies, by the way, even though I'm not saying what they are, but and he got what he wanted, right? So it was a wild ride, as he says in his last message. And as you can see, the end date for this was August 2nd, which is 10 months out from October at the beginning. 10 months of grinding, of going through all these coffee chats, of uncertainty, imposter syndrome, all the ups and downs of, being depressed after being rejected, ghosted, failing interviews, right? All this stuff, a lot of failure. But it all paid off. He ended up getting two offers and ended up accepting the one he wanted. So hopefully this story helps you. Hopefully there's some tips that you learned. Even small stuff like the thank you emails, telling jokes, being personable, that kind of thing helps a ton. Again, as you see, his story took 10 months. It was not easy. I helped as much as I could, giving guidance that I know. I only have 3 years of experience, but Again, this is how it is. This is the reality. You're going to go through a lot of anxiety, a lot of uncertainty, but it's only once you push through it and you think differently, right? His mindset was different. He was really trying to put his best self out there all the time in each role. Um, and throughout all the anxiety, depression, it never stopped him. Is as you can see, like at the on the other end of a roadblock, a new opportunity came up, and that's only because he kept pushing, and he kept pushing and pushing and kept interviewing, failed, learned, you know, kept cold emailing, job, used everything in his ability, and he even had a good projects on his resume, and he did everything he could, and he really took ownership of his whole story, and he ended up paying off. He ended up getting two offers. So this is just how it goes. And I just really just want you to, if I could just leave you, everybody listening, with one thing, is that yeah, there's a lot that's out of your control, right? You're gonna get ghosted, the job market sucks, that kind of thing. But there's always one thing that you should take responsibility for, and that's your own actions. Your own actions play a whole part in all of this. We walked through everything he did right. He did a lot of things right. He did a lot of things good. And it's because he did things in a different, unconventional kind of way is what really paid off. He never gave up throughout all the adversity he faced. So hopefully this helps. Hopefully this story was something that was good to see. And I hope to see you all in the next one.